welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with Ashley Williams. Ashley, how are we?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Yes, I'm great, thank you. Thank you for coming on the channel.
No problem, bro.
Okay, and so am I right in saying you're a 31-year-old super flyweight who's 1-0?
Flyweight I will be.
Flyweight.
Had my pro debut at Bantam. I'm for 5 years, so took a bit of a didn't want to lose too much weight too early, so took a fight at Bantam, and will gradually make my way down. Hopefully, fight for titles at flyweight.
Great. Okay. Well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, the question which I always like to start off with: why did you start boxing?
So as a youngster, I was about 11, 12 years old, and yeah, I was getting a little bit bullied, as kids do, and we're all small and stuff, and in your comprehensive school, and punching holes in my mum's kitchen wall, and she said it's about time you started to find something to get yourself some respect, and to start defending yourself. So entered the boxing gym and didn't turn back.
That's great. Okay, and so do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
So I won my first amateur fight. I won. I used to go for, as an amateur. I went through a little rhythm of winning two, losing one, winning two, losing one, and I got myself in. My first fight was it was in Wales. I fought a lot in Wales at my first couple, and I was about 12 years old, boxing for Garra Valley ABC.
That's great. And so, what was your biggest achievement from the amateurs?
I won a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games. I went on to fight for GB, and I represented the British Lionhearts in WSB.
That's great. And so, in how many amateur fights did you have?
It says I've had about 70, 80 fights. When I became an international fighter, I stopped recording how many fights I had. As an international fighter, records are for DJs, because you could be fighting someone with 100 fights one day, 70 fights the next day, 150 fights the next day. It's you begin to forget about how many fights you've had and just start to focus on the boxing.
That's fair. And so, why did you turn professional when you did?
So it's come to a time in my life now where COVID has come up. I haven't boxed for 5 years. I've been officiating, refereeing amateur boxing, and give me my hunger back with because I'm a coach for Alive ABC in Durrington. I'm in Wiltshire, in the southern area. So I started doing a bit of coaching with them. And the kids just give me that bit of hunger back that I needed. And I thought, I'm only going to live once. I'm 31 years old. I'm still young enough to get back in the ring and give it a good shot. So I thought I hit up with Lee Eaton, give him a ring, seeing if he was interested in being a manager for me. Got myself a coach, and I hit the board up and started the journey to turn professional.
That's great. And from what it seems, your whole kind of career, I mean, even from the very start of why you started boxing to kind of like gain some more strength and some more authority, and then for this to, even at this age, like, you're not old, but to then just have the 5 years out and then still come back, it's quite inspirational for people who also might be in that situation and not sure if they want to turn professional or if they want to actually start boxing. With what I think a lot of people have realised now with COVID and so on and so forth, we've all lost people who may have done something in life, but have gone with a regret because they didn't do something, they didn't push themselves to where they could have gone. I believe that even at 31, I can still I can reach a title. I can reach British level. I can reach. I'm a firm believer that I could reach world level, world level. I could be ranked in the world rankings, and I can push for titles. Obviously, the pace that I fight at, the way I fight suits the professional game. Because obviously I had my fight last Saturday,
and definitely suited the game. Suited the more rounds. Got a bit more time to plant my feet. The amateurs is short and sharp.
Yeah.
3 rounds isn't enough time for me to break people down and get them where I want them to be. So 12 rounds is perfect. I can break them down, come to the second half of the fight, they're in my ball game, where it's in my pace. I'm throwing the shots. They're the ones they're defending because it's been at my pace for the full 12 rounds. So professional game is more suited for me.
Great. And so you said that you fight last Saturday. Congratulations on the win. And so how well do you think you performed?
Yeah, I've had really good feedback from my performance. I was lucky enough to have Tony Borg, who's an experienced Welsh coach, come in my corner with me, coming second, my coach, and his experience, it was valuable in the corner, and he said to me it was a really good performance. My manager has also said that he's really happy with my performance, and that they're looking to get me out quite early again, because they said that we'll try and push you for another fight before the end of the year, and then we might see where we can take you for maybe middle of next year, maybe try and push for a title.
Great. And so for this fight, you were with Black Flash Promotions. What was it like working with them? Yeah.
So obviously Pat Barrett was away. Was Alpha Barrett in Abu Dhabi. So obviously he had a lot of assistance from the others. They worked well, corresponded with us really well, and yeah, it was a pleasure to work with them. Obviously things most probably didn't go for them as smooth as they normally would, so they had to work around a lot of things. But the main thing is they got the show underway for us, and all the home fighters got to fight, which is what we want to do. To be honest, when they put on the show, we all sold the tickets. And the last thing you want is the show getting cancelled last minute because a promoter has to go away and he hasn't got any assistance. So obviously we'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everyone who assisted Pat Barrett while he was in Abu Dhabi and got the show underway for Black Flash.
Definitely, that's great. And so for people who might not have seen you fight that are watching this, what kind of would you say makes you interesting as a fighter?
Well, I'm a very fast-paced fighter. I've got the opponent I had, Sean Jackson. It was his debut as well as my debut. So he wanted the win just as much as I did. Nobody wants to go in that ring to lose, especially on their debut. He came to win. I feel I took the fight out of him pretty early. I put him down on the set in the second round, and he more or less went into survival mode then for the rest of the next two.
That's fair.
So I'm an exciting fighter because my pace and my variety of shots, my shot selection. I kind of idolized myself to Ricky Hatton. I like to throw to the body. I like to break him down, and then I like to take the fight away from the fighter, and then make them, like I say, they either sink or swim.
Definitely.
And hopefully the pace is too much for them and they sink.
Yes, definitely. And so you spoke about how you'd love to be in the world rankings at some point soon, and I was kind of wondering, by this time next year, where do you think you will be in your career? What do you think you would have achieved so far?
Well, hopefully I would have reached at least an area title, and then hopefully pushing on in the British rankings, pushing on for a British title. I feel I'm more than capable to be mixing it with the best in Great Britain. So a British title, that Lonsdale belt, would be lovely to have around my waist. Obviously, everybody loves that Lonsdale belt. It's a prestigious title within Great Britain, and it's an absolute stunning belt. So it'd be lovely to bring that home to my kids.
Definitely. Okay, and so I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask you. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
So I'd like to thank my sponsors. So my sponsors, I had Small Solutions, the Stone Engine, I had 50 cal clothing, and I also had dragon supplements. And them four who all contributed towards my medical, helping me for my camp, which isn't cheap.
No.
So the little contributions that they give me all help me. And there's also room for more sponsors to come on board if anybody wants to be part of the Ash Bash team. I've got a camp. I've got a camp that I'm on now, ready for maybe the 26th. I'm finding out hopefully this afternoon. The 26th of November. It's a fight in Swindon, so I haven't got long. About 2 and a bit weeks. I'm trying to sell a bit of tickets to cover my expenses and stuff, and then hopefully I can fight.
Definitely.
So I'd like to thank all the sponsors. Been massive help, and anybody who wants to come on board, welcome. You're more than welcome to come on board the Ash Bash team.
Yes, and I'm sure lots more companies will come on the further you progress along in your career.
Hopefully so.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for doing this interview, mate.
Thanks very much for having me on, mate. Appreciate it.
And maybe when you're fighting for the area titles, we can come back and do a return interview.
Of course, mate. Of course, anytime.
Great. Okay. Well, if you're on around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and thanks for watching.